Silence all around and only desolate land. As far as the eye can see, only the trees have made their place safe. Because the human population is almost non-existent now. In fact, a virus called Hulse is slowly destroying all humans. But there is one girl who still lives and continues to live her life in this desolate land. Although she also loses her close people and every day just thinks about ending herself somehow. But there is something that keeps her from falling asleep forever. Actually, Barry's husband is infected with the virus. So she is forced to kill him with her own hands, although she doesn't want to do this. But what else can she do? Today, she buries him. At that time, we see the pain of losing her husband in her eyes. She is now tired of this life. And how long will she remain quietly like this? But she doesn't know that her husband also gives her some more wounds while she is away, which may not be bearable for her. In fact, when she goes inside the house, she sees that her only daughter is also infected with this virus. Although at first she doesn't know about it. But later, when she sees the marks on her chest, she realizes that her husband also bit her. She hopes that one day a miracle will happen and her daughter will be cured. But with time, her daughter becomes more and more dangerous. So seeing his daughter suffer like this, he can't stop himself and ends her forever. Rory's life is now over forever. He has nothing left to spend his happy moments with. So he leaves his home and goes to his father-in-law. He lives in a secluded forest like him. Now people live like this. The city is now destroyed. Those who survive live like this. Now Max also knows. He puts Bori through a lot of pain. But 2 years have passed since this incident. So he convinces him again and again that he should shut up. But it's not that easy for Bori. The forest is now full of animals. So now Max has to work with rabbits every time. He asks Ori to go hunting with him many times but he refuses. Although Max doesn't force him. But he starts to worry a lot. Because Bori doesn't know. He moves here and there. There is danger in other places too. So he says that you should stay here. But the fear inside Bori should end. He is not afraid of death now. Nor of people. He just continues to live his life like this. Now let me tell you what GM actually is. As you know, the previous government is completely gone. Taking advantage of this, some people form an organization where they take the surviving people with them and admit them to camps. But they are not good camps. Rather, they are made to be enslaved there. Bad things are done, and many more things happen to these people. And so there are many people who run away from these GM wallas. In the meantime, there are many bloody fights. But they do not stop catching people. In the meantime, we get to know Niolo. Looking at his condition, it seems that he is injured and running away from someone. In fact, the GM wallas are after him, because he steals an antidote from their warehouse through which infected people can be cured. That's what he thinks. He doesn't even know how much truth there is in this saying. But now Niolo's condition gets very bad. Because he gets shot. So he quickly comes to his partner. But when he sees her in such a state, he tells her to leave because with what she has, she can start the human empire again. Although Nu doesn't do that because he knows that everyone who comes after will kill his friend. But in front of her insistence, he accepts defeat. When he moves forward, his partner reaches Logan who works in GMA. He is so desperate to get the antidote that he can cross any limit. He asks him many times but he doesn't tell anything because his own death is inevitable. He accepts it even though it saves innocent people's lives, so he gives him electric shocks many times from the folk song, but he still doesn't tell him anything, so he becomes a victim of his gun who sits with his loneliness and gets lost in the memories of his daughter, and he lives by the lake where his little daughter used to play once, but now everything is over. So now he ends himself. He decided not to give it because death is better than such a life, but then a sound comes when he turns around and he sees a horse standing there and a injured person a little bit away. It was Newell who ran away and came to the lag, but he has no interest in helping strangers now, so he turns his face and walks away, but that horse keeps telling him no matter what he does his owner needs him. Rory from above, no matter how hard he gets his Heart is still soft inside, so he picks up Niall and brings him to his house and closes the road. So on the other hand we see Max, who confesses and comes back. Then he sees some hollis bodies on the road who are killed. In the meantime he sees some agendars a little bit away and he understands that danger is very close. Let's go back to the main video with a small break. There is a special offer for you. In the world's most popular and trusted bookmaker app, you can win prizes ranging from live matches to iPhone laptops and even BMWs. Although it may sound unbelievable, many people have already received their rewards. Here you can predict the score while watching live matches. For example, which team will win, how many runs will which team score, etc. Also, here you can win a lot of money by playing games where everyone's favorite game is the crush game. Here, the higher the plane rises, the more money you can win. The best thing is that if you use my promo code MN10, you can get a bonus of 20 to 30,000 taka. You can easily withdraw the money you want to Bcash, Rocket, Nagad or bank, and they have 24-hour customer support for any help. So what's the delay? Follow the instructions in the pinned comments and don't forget to use the MND pull in the promo code box. So he comes back and warns Rory, don't go out for a few days, because that GM's agent is around here. Rory is restless about Niall, because he will tell him about her or not. But when he doesn't, he takes Max to Asta. He shows Niall lying there. Max gets very angry when he sees a stranger, because they don't know who he is and where he ran away from. But his anger increases when he sees that he is wearing the clothes of an agent, that is, a soldier from the GMA camp. And if they find out that we are hiding him here, they will kill us or imprison us. How can you make such a big mistake? According to Bari, he finds him in a state of coma on the bank of the lake. How can he leave him to die in such a state? But he cannot take the risk of Max's danger, so he says that tonight he will leave him in some secluded place, from where he will make his own way. If we keep him here in our house, our lives may be in danger. But at night, it starts to rain heavily. That's why Max can't go in between. When the two of them are eating, Max scolds him about Niall. Bori says that they have no hope of survival, but they can save someone else's life. Max gets very angry at this. He says that we all have our own lives, which are more precious than anything else, and that is our hope, but with the work you do, you are inviting your own death. Night falls, but Bori's restlessness works. His attention is on the stable as if he wants to ask him many questions, but the biggest thing is that what is that liquid that is found in his bag? Yes, after Bori comes, he checks his bag, in which he also finds the antidote, but he doesn't know what it is. Now, after the restlessness, he has no sleep at all, so he is forced to go to his daughter's room, where he sees that day again in front of his eyes. It comes to her like a black shadow that will remain in her memory for as long as she lives. It was her daughter's birthday that day, but before they cut the cake, someone comes to the door, and it is none other than her husband, who has now turned into a complete hole. He now moves to bite his daughter, but then is forced to shoot RO, but he is late because her husband bites her daughter, due to which within a few hours she also starts to become like him, and then she does something that is nothing less than a doomsday for any mother, like ending her life with her own hands. It has been killing her bit by bit since that day till today. But now she wants to get away from these things. She has decided that she will spend her life in some unpleasant place where memories cannot reach. So he went to the stable and got the keys to the stable. Then he opened the door and went in. But he was in a bit of a hurry there. The horse that belonged to Niall started to scream loudly as if he wanted to say something. But Bori doesn't understand, and Niall came from behind and grabbed his throat. In the meantime, Asta tries to enter a hole. But both of them quickly try to close the gate completely. But that can't happen, so in the end Niall has to shoot him and kill him. Then Bori asks him who he really is. Does he work for GM? Niall says, no, I want to live, so that I can see the destruction of this world for a few days. His answer seems strange to Bori, but he doesn't say anything. In the meantime Niall asks him for his bag, because he has to go now. Bori tells him that he is not well. He has lost a lot of blood. There is also a hole outside on him. But he doesn't listen and keeps going, but his wound is so deep that he falls there. Then Bori bandages his wound for the sake of humanity and explains that it is not right to go out now. And seeing this kindness, Neon starts telling his story. 8 days ago, his 13-year-old son got infected. At that time, while he was playing outside, his son was everything to him. So he enters the camp because he somehow finds out that he has made an antidote with which infected people can be saved. I make a plan to get in there and risk my life to get the antidote, but now it's too late because he has to reach his son before it's too late because he has the antidote in his hands. Eli is completely surprised to hear his story because something like this happens to him too. It's not right to go on such a dark night. You stay here tonight. Leave tomorrow morning. After a long time, Niall trusts someone. So he slowly thanks him and agrees. In the meantime, we see Logan and his people from the other mountain and those who go to the scanner and see that there are some people in that house. But who are they? But are they after Niall or the antidote? We'll find out later. This time is not at all like that. Death awaits you at every step here. So if someone has to go out, then every step must be calculated. So that his death story is not written. Morning comes, and Niall opens his eyes. He sees Max's gun abandoned near his neck. In fact, he sees him inside his own house and doubts how he got in. In the meantime, Bori comes and tells him that he did not come to harm him. But he only came for his son. He is going back now, but Max still does not trust him. Because he has seen the world outside. What kind of people live here? But Bori does not listen to his words and tells Niall to go. But then his chest starts to hurt. Max realizes that his breathing is stuck, so he quickly lays him down there and inserts a tube into his lungs so that air can escape. But this pain hurts him so much that he remains unconscious for several hours, but his condition improves. Now Max starts to believe him somewhere. Because for the first time he sees a hope in Barry's eyes that had been lost for 3 years. In the meantime, their warning alarm starts to come alive. Max looks at the camera and finds out that Logan and his people have come. That means danger is now above their heads. He quickly tells the two of them to go out through the back door. Don't stop until their dust is no longer visible from behind. I will take care of the rest. Although R.O. wants to take him with them. But he won't leave his house. He hugs R.O. and says that now he is his hope and he will keep this hope. He will do some miracle. After they leave, he comes out armed with weapons. Seeing him in front of Logan, he says that your place is not here but in the camp. He replies to this very carelessly. That he prefers to be free. To be enslaved or to be saved by suffering. Logan does not like this. In the meantime, some voices come to the people to tell them about their trust. They understand that the two of them are there, but before they can shoot, the two of them escape on horseback. Because in the meantime, Max starts shooting at them and keeps shooting until they answer with their own bodies. Although in the end, he comes to Max. Then he asks the same question again, where is Niall? But he does not answer. He only says that he is not a fraud. Logan electrocutes him and tells his partner to go and find him, but now his partner is tired of his madness. So he tells her right there that he will not go in front of her now, that was all. But Logan has a ghost in his head and he wants to find them in any way, so he goes out alone in search of her. In the meantime, we see these two who are now running away deep into the forest, but now Niall Boar's life can't be in danger. So he tells him that now you take the horse and go to your house. I'm going to my house. It will be dark in a while. So now things can be quite difficult for us. But Bori clearly refuses. He has lost his people in front of his eyes. And he knows how painful this thing is. And so, he doesn't want him to go through suffering even if he takes it. So he will go ahead with him. And then he hears a gunshot in the distance. Logan sees him. The two leave the horse and go ahead and hide in the forest. But he can't go far as we know he was shot and he has been hungry since morning, so he sits there and hands over all the responsibilities to Barry and gives him his bag and tells him that it contains the antidote that will save my daughter's life. You will find a map in it that will take you to my house where my mother and my son are. Rolly knows that he will not live anymore and Nilo knows that he has entrusted this task to a trustworthy person who will definitely complete this task even with his last breath. He says that his daughter was very lucky to have such a brave mother. Rory escapes from there and Niall fights with his remaining breath as the last time he bravely shoots Logan, but in the end, he gets tired, and it's not a defeat but a victory. Because there are groups of homes around whom they surround. He knows his story ends here. Meanwhile, Rolly somehow runs away in the darkness. But then he is surrounded by some infected people, but he has a way to escape from them. He smears a liquid on his body so that he doesn't smell. This method works but not for long, because as he goes a little far, an infected person attacks him. Although he finishes him off, he wounds him. It means that he is infected too. But now, he is standing around them. But now, they don't do anything to him. Because he is like them now. Rory knows that he has a few moments left. Before that, he will complete the task so that he doesn't change completely. Early in the morning, he reaches Neil's house, where his old mother comes out with a gun. He sees his son's bag there and sees Rory standing in front. And seeing this situation, he asks him where his son is, but he doesn't answer. But seeing the pain and the silence in Neil's mother's eyes, he understands that his son is no more, but he kept his word. At the end, we see Rory sitting on the riverbank. He keeps talking to himself that God has abandoned us. Because we are all trying to be gods now and forget humanity. Saying this, he kills himself. And in his last moments, there is no regret on his face. He could not save his own daughter. But he saved someone else's daughter. And the piece of this thing helps him die. And this is where the story ends.